Hello boys and girls. Here is a PowerPoint that you can review in order to prepare for your Chapter 4 test on Tuesday. These are some questions that are similar to the ones that you will see on your test on Tuesday. Here we go. One question you may have is when they give you a table and they ask you a few questions. So what do you notice about this table? What are the labels of the columns? Days, numbers of cats sold, numbers of dogs sold. And you know about the rows, we have Monday, 3 cats were sold, and Monday, 1 dog was sold. And again, Tuesday, they tell us the number of cats and dogs sold. Wednesday, the number of cats and dogs sold. Thursday, the numbers of cats and dogs sold. And Friday, the numbers of cats and dogs sold. So, when they give you a table, they want you to use this to answer the questions. Here's our first question. On which day were 5 more cats sold than dogs? Before we can answer this, we have to make sure we understand the words used in this problem. So I'm going to highlight some words. There were 5 more. Oops. 5 more. And 5 more means bigger. So now we have to look back to the chart and we have to see on which day, so they don't want to know they want us to focus on one day. They don't want to know about all the days, just one day. So my suggestion is, let's start with Monday. Were 5 more cats sold than dogs? No, because the number under the cats sold is 3. So it's not even 5 more. So we can go down to Tuesday. Again, 5 more cats, we can eliminate Tuesday. Let's look at Wednesday. On which day were 5 more cats sold than dogs? Well, there were 8 cats sold on Wednesday and 3 dogs sold on Wednesday. So what we can do to see if 5 more cats were sold, we can take the number of cats and subtract the number of dogs from it. Let's see, 8 minus 3, gives us what? What's 8 minus 3? You're correct, 5. So, they want to know on which day were 5 more cats sold than dogs. Wow, we just found it. 5 more cats were sold on Wednesday. 5 more cats were sold than dogs, comma, on Wednesday. Excellent job. Now, to find the answer to this next question, each cat sold for $85, and each dog sold for $95. What was the total amount earned from cats and dogs sold from Monday through Friday? All right, now, these are the words that we have to understand. Each cat sold for 85 cents. That's important. We need to underline that. Each dog sold for $95. So each, that means on Tuesday when 4 dogs were sold, it doesn't mean the pet store earned $95. It means each of those 4 dogs sold, they received $95. What was the total amount? So total amount, they want to know all together earned from cats and dogs. All right. First, we need to find, so step 1, find the total amount of cats sold. We can do this by doing what operation? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. If we want to find the total amount of cats sold. Yes, we have to add. We have to add 3 plus 2 plus 8 plus 15 plus 20. Notice Miss Rosenberger got her answers from looking at this column labeled number of cats sold. When I add them all together, let's see what I get. Should have wrote it up here. 20, 15, 8, oops, 8, 2, 3. Okay. When I add this together, I will have my answer. At this time, please pause. Please pause the slideshow and solve. What's 20 plus 15 plus 8 plus 2 plus 3? Once you have your answer, click on the pause button, click on the play button to resume. Alright, so 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 8, carry my 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. If you got the answer of 48, you are correct. They sold 48 cats. Now, step 2. If each cat sold for $85, what do we have to do with 48 and 85? What operation? Do we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? If you said multiply, you are correct. Let's do that now. I'm going to insert another page under here. Okay, so we're doing 48 times 85. We'll write our answer over here. 48 times 85. And that will give us how much money they earned from selling the cats. Alright. This is what chapter 3 has prepared us for. We start in the ones place. 5 times 8 is 40. 0, carry our 4. 8 times 4 is 20, plus 4 more is 24. I put my 0 underneath the answer to my first product. I cross out the 5 because I'm all done multiplying by the 5, and I cross out the 4. Alright, now I multiply. 8 times 8. 8 times 8 went to the store to buy Nintendo 64. I put the 4 down, and I carried the 6 over top the tens place. Now I do 8 times 4, 8, 16, 24, 32, 32 plus 6, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. Make sure all my numbers are lined up. Oops. and then I add. 0 plus 0 is 0. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 2 is 10. 0. Carry my 1. And then 3 plus 1 is 4. Ooh, they made a lot of money off of the cats. They made $4,080 from the cats. So they earned $4,080 from selling cats Monday through Friday. You do not need to write this. I'm only writing this since I don't have enough room on the other sheet. All right. So our answer was $4,080. Do they want to know just the cats? If you said no, you're correct. They want to know the total amount earned from cats and dogs sold. So step 3, find the total amount of dogs sold. Which column do I have to look under to find the total amount of dogs sold? You're right, the column that says number of dogs sold. How many dogs were sold on Monday? Good, 1. How many dogs were sold on Tuesday? Excellent, 4. How many dogs were sold on Wednesday? Excellent job, 3. How many dogs were sold on Thursday? Good, 5. And how many on Friday? 6. What do we have to do to find the total amount of dogs sold? Yes, we have to add. Let's add 6 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 plus 1. Please pause the video at this time so you have time to add up the numbers. After you're done adding up the numbers, come back and press the play button and see if you got the same answer as Miss Rosenberger. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to go through my thinking process and see if you had the same answer as me. 4 plus 5 is 11, plus 3 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, plus 4 more, 18, plus 1 more, 19. If you said that they sold 19 dogs, you are incredible. They sold 19 dogs. Now step 4. What do we have to do with step 4? We found out how much they earned from selling cats. Now that we found the total amount of dogs sold, what do we have to do to find out how much they earned by selling the dogs? If you said multiply 19 by 95, you are amazing. That's exactly what we have to do. We have to multiply 19 times $95. Miss Rosenberger is going to add the $sign, just a reminder so to myself that, hey, I need to make sure my answer has the $sign. All right, here we go. Five times 9 is 45. 5, carrier 4. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 4 more is 9. Excellent job. I place what underneath this 5? Yes, a 0. And I cross out the good 5 and the 4. Alright, now I multiply. 9 times 9 is 81. Good job. Carry my good 8. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 8 more, 9. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. After I have found that next product, what do I have to do to these two answers? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. If you said add, you're correct. Right. 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 1 is 10. 0, carry my 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. And then 1, then I just bring down the 1 because there's nothing to add to my 1. Am I done, or am I missing something that's really important? We're trying to find out how much money they earned from selling the dogs. Is this answer acceptable? If you said no, you're correct. What do I need to add to show that it's money? Good job. I need to show the dollar sign. So step 4, we found out that they earned $1,805 from selling dogs Monday through Friday. But let's look back. They want to know, what was the total amount earned from cats and dogs sold? So what do I have to do with these two numbers? 4,080 and 1,805. You're right, we have to add them. 4,080, we have to add that to 1,805. Please pause the video and add these now. Once you're done adding, come back and check to see if you have the same answer as Ms. Rosenberger. Alright, welcome back. Let's see if you had the same answer. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 0 is 8. 0 plus 8 is 8. And 4 plus 1 is 5. Ooh, how much money did they earn from selling dogs and cats Monday through Thursday? They earned $5,885 from selling cats and dogs Monday through Friday. Excellent job, boys and girls. If you would like to do that again on your own, feel free to do so by pausing and then restarting. And if you wanted to work on the multiplication and do the multiplication problem first and then check with my answer, I definitely encourage that. A lot of you know the operation. It's just sometimes we forget to add the extra number that we carry. So definitely go back and review this and try it on your own before I show the answers. Alright, next problem. Here's another type of a question you might get. You might be given a line graph and asked the following questions. Before we start looking at the questions, let's observe and go over this line graph. We see that it's titled Daily High Temperatures for 1 week. Well, we know there's some days in a week. Where am I going to find the temperatures? Look over to the left. High temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit. I see it goes from 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101. Wow, this is awesome. everything goes up by one interval. We don't have to worry about understanding what the middle spaces are, since everything goes up by one. Shows us Sunday through Saturday, the days of the week. All right, now that I understand the line graph, I'm able and ready to answer the questions. First question, what was the increase in the temperature from the second to the fourth day of the week? Well, I need to underline second day, that's important to know, fourth day, and increase. What does increase mean? Is that a sign, math sign, to tell us to add, subtract, multiply, or divide? If you said add or multiply, you're correct. Increase means to add or multiply. It means to make something bigger. So we know with this question, it's asking us to use adding or multiplying. They want the temperature, the increase in the temperature from the second day to the fourth day. Second day. Sunday is the first day of the week. Monday is the second day of the week. Tuesday is the third day of the week. And Wednesday is the fourth day of the week. I have to write down the temperature for Monday. What was the temperature for Monday? Put your finger on M, go up to the dot, and go over to the left. What temperature was on Monday? If you said 95, you're correct. What was the temperature on Wednesday? Again, go to the W for Wednesday, go all the way up to the dot, and then take your finger and trace the line till you get over to the temperature. What was the temperature for Wednesday? If you said 97, you're correct. Well, with these two numbers, I see that there's an increase, but we're not going to add or multiply these two numbers. They want to know what was the increase in the temperatures. So, in order to find the increase, I have to do the opposite of what the word in the question asks me to do. I have to take Wednesday, and I have to take Monday. And to find the increase, I have to do the opposite operation, which is subtraction. I knew I didn't have to multiply because I didn't want to know over multiple weeks. They just wanted to know for this 1 week. So since they're small numbers, I just have to subtract. All right, 97 minus 95. Please pause the PowerPoint. Solve this problem, and then press play and see if you get the same answer as me. All right, welcome back. 97 minus 95 is 2. So, the increase was 2 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, on to our next problem. It says, what was the difference between the highest and lowest temperature over the entire week? The words that are important for me to know are highest and lowest, and difference. What was the difference? Difference, what operations does difference mean? You're correct. Subtract. Let's see. So now I have to find the highest point, the highest temperature. The highest temperature is the number that's closest to the top. Let's see. As I connect the dots, this number is the highest. I'm going to circle that in yellow. And which number is the lowest, the temperature the lowest? Whoa, Saturday was the lowest temperature. They want to know the difference. So this one, they want to know the difference between the highest and lowest temperature. So the highest temperature was Saturday. And the temperature was, let's see. So go to Saturday, go up to the dot, go all the way, keep my finger on this line. Don't wave up and down because you're going to get the wrong answer. Keep your finger on this line until you get over to the temperature. What was the temperature on Saturday? If you said 94, you're correct. Now I want to find the lowest temperature, which we found was on Thursday. Oops, I'm sorry. We already found the lowest temperature. Now we want to find the highest temperature. Sorry, boys and girls. Which was on Thursday. What was the temperature on Thursday? We go to the Thursday, put our finger all the way up to the dot, and go to the left. What was the temperature on Thursday? If you said 100 degrees, you are correct. Ooh. Now difference. Difference means to subtract. They want to know the difference between the highest and lowest temperature. So right here, I'm going to take 100, and I'm going to subtract 94. At this time, I want you to pause the video, and I want you to solve this on your own, and then come back and see if you have the same answer as Miss Rosenberger. I'll see you soon. Take your time. All right, welcome back. Let's solve this together. 100 minus 94. Bigger bottom, I see that the two bottoms are bigger than the top. So bigger bottom, better borrow. I'm going to borrow from the 1 to make the 0 a 10. But this number 4 is bigger than this 0. So I have to cross out this 10, make it an 11, and make this 0 a 10. Whew. Now I can take 4 from 10, which is 6. Let's try that 6 again. And 11 minus 9, 9, 10, 11, which is 2. So, the difference between the highest and lowest temperature over the entire week was 26 degrees Fahrenheit. Pretty simple. The key to answering these questions is being a detective and understanding the graphs. All right, next graph. This one, you might have a question like this. They might give you a table and ask you, what is the best method of displaying the data collected? So I see the two columns are labeled favorite books and number of students. The favorite books are mystery, autobiography, travel, fiction, and adventure. The number of students are 80, 30, 20, 50, and 60. I noticed that most of the kids liked mystery. In order to answer this question, I need to understand when we use line graphs, bar graphs, tally charts, and picture charts. I remember that in Chapter 4, we talked mostly about line graphs, bar graphs, and picture graphs. And I remember tally charts, we used a tally chart to make a graph. So right now, I can cross out tally chart because I know that's not one of the answers. A tally chart and a table are both ways of collecting data, and they're used to create a graph. Now I have 3 down. Now I have 3. I'm going to write what I know about a line graph. I remember today we said that a line graph compares data over a period of time. Well, I don't see any period of time. All I see are favorite books and numbers of kids. So I guess that's not one of my answers either. Let me think about picture graphs. We went over that definition too. And a picture graph, I remember, compares data with small numbers. And when numbers are a multiple of a given number. 80, 30, 20, 50, and 60, they're all the multiples of times 10. Times 10 is a factor. A factor and a factor makes a multiple. So 10 times 8 is 80, 10 times 3 is 30, 10 times 2 is 20, 10 times 5 is 50, and 10 times 6 is 60. So this one might work. Kind of small numbers. And they use pictures. These are actually a little too big to make pictures. Unless I have an answer key that I make everything 10 or 5. But a bar graph compares data with small or large numbers. And I think I even remember seeing in our book something about favorite sports, and they used a bar graph. So, the best method of displaying the data collected is the bar graph. All right, next question. Here we go. Here's another table, but I noticed that there's spaces that aren't completed yet. I think one of the questions is going to ask me to find these answers. Let me look over this table first. I see it's sports played by students. We have grade, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and total. We have soccer and football. I see that in 2nd grade, there are 6 soccer players and 10 football players. In 3rd grade, there's 6 soccer players and 9 football players. In 4th grade, they don't tell me how many soccer players there are, but they do tell me there's 7 football players. And in 5th grade, they tell me there's 7 soccer players, but they don't tell me how many football players. They do give me a total. The total of soccer players in all the grades is 28. All right, I think I'm ready to answer the questions. Here we go. First question. There are 9 more students who play football in 5th grade than in 4th grade. How many students play football in 5th grade? I have some information that's important in order to answer it. 9 more students. More means adding. Who played football in 5th grade than 4th grade. So we're comparing the 4th and 5th grade. And we're looking at football. So I'm looking at football. I have to look at football, 4th and 5th grade. I'm making this just as a reminder. Hey, this is where my focus needs to be. How can I find this answer? Well, they tell me there's 7 kids in 4th grade that play football, and they say there are 9 more students who play football in 5th grade. So, plus 9 more students who play football in 5th grade than in 4th grade. How many students play football in 5th grade? Wow, I know what to do now. I have to add 7 and 9. Please pause this video and add, and then see if you have the same answer as Miss Rosenberger. I'll see you soon. Alright, welcome back. What's 7 plus 9? If you said 16, you're correct. So I know I have to place 16 in here. There we go. 16. Oops. All right. So now I answered this first question. In 5th grade, 16 students play football. To check my answer, I can take 16 and I can do the opposite operation, subtraction, by subtracting 9 to see if I get 7. That number, the reason why I want to see if I get 7 is because 7 is the given number that they gave me. So I want to make sure that I get the same number that they gave me. And when I do, the answer is 7. Okay, next question. What is the total number of students in the 4 grades? Wow. So they want to know all the students in 2nd through 5th grade all together. Well, so far I have all the 2nd through 5th graders with football. Now I have to find the total. To find the total, what do I have to do with the numbers in this column? If you said add, you're correct. I have to add 10 plus 9 plus 7 plus 16. Please pause this video and add those numbers now, and then check to see if you have the same answer as Miss Rosenberger. Alright, welcome back. Here we go. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 6, 16. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's 22. 2, carry my 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 42. 42 kids play football. Awesome. I didn't have to find out how many 4th graders played soccer because none of these questions ask me how many 4th graders play soccer. They just want to know the total number of students, the total number of students in the 4 grades. And I can count. 2, 3, 4, 5, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 grades. Now what I have to do, I have to add 28 and 42 to find the total number of students in the 4 grades. Alright, you know what to do. Pause the video, add them, and then come back to see if you have the same answer as Miss Rosenberger. See you soon. Alright, welcome back. 8 plus 2, 10. 0 carried the 1. 4 plus 1, 5, 6, 7. There is a total of 70 students in the 4 grades. Boys and girls, as long as you show your work near the question, all you have to do is put the answer. I'm just writing it in a sentence so you know which parts go with which question. Last question. From the table, which class has the greatest number of students? Oh man, I talked too soon. Now they want to know which grade has the most students. Second grade. 6 and 10 is how much? If you said, I want you to add 6 and 10, and pause the video, and once you add 6 plus 10, unpause it and see if you get the same answer as me. Alright, 6 plus 10 is 16. Do the same for grade 3. What 2 numbers do we have to add? You're right, 6 and 9. Pause the video, add, and then come back. Alright, 6 plus 9 is 15. Let's do the last one we know. 7 plus 16. Pause the video, add them together, and then come back to tell me what you got. Alright, welcome back. 16 plus 7 is, 6 and 6 is 12, plus 1 more is 13, 3 carry the 1, 23. So far, I'm noticing that grade 5 has the most kids, but I can't assume that without finding this answer. The way I find it, I know there's 28 students, and I know there's 6 students in 2nd grade, 6 students in 3rd grade, and 7 students in 5th grade. To find this answer, I have to add 6 plus 6 plus 7. Please pause the video and do that now. Alright, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19. To find how many students are in 4th grade that play soccer, I have to take the total, 28, and subtract 19. Again, pause the video, find your answer, and come back. Alright, bigger bottom, better borrow. 2 becomes a 1. The 8 becomes an 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. So I know there's 9 students here. Now I need to add 9 plus 7. This is why it's always important to show all your work and why we use an extra piece of paper, so we have room to show our work and get at least partial credit if we mess up on our answer. 9 plus 7, add them together and then come back. Alright, 9 plus 7 is 16. Ooh, after all this adding, which class has the greatest number of students? we look over here at the totals. 16, 15, 16 for 4th grade, and 23 for 5th grade. Which class has the greatest number of students? If you said 5th grade, you're correct. 5th grade has the greatest number of students. All right. Next problem. You might have a problem that looks like this. They give you a line graph. And on this line graph, I see there's time on the horizontal axis and temperature on the vertical axis. And it's titled, A Line Graph to Show Temperature of Water Being Heated. Here we go. How long did it take for the water to heat up to 80 degrees? Well, I look over at temperature at 80 degrees, and on this line, it's a little hard to see, on this line, I stay on it with my finger until I get to one of the X's, and then I go down to see how long that took. There's our answer. It took 4 minutes to heat the water up to 80 degrees. Again, you don't need to write this complete sentence because in math, they just want the answer. But showing this and then writing your answer 4 minutes, this is the work that shows me how you got it. So I know that you understand, and you'd get full credit. Next one. Find the difference in the temperature of water between the 1st and 5th minute. I'm going to use a different color. Blue. The 1st and 5th minute. Here's the 1st minute. Here's the 5th minute. They want to know the difference. So difference means to do what? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. If you said subtract, you're correct. Alright, so the 1st minute, I go all the way up till I get to the X and over. At the 1st minute, it is 40 degrees. Now, we want to know the temperature at the 5th minute. I go all the way up until I get to the X, and then I need to go over. This one's in between 80 and 90. I see it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So what I can do to find out how much it increases, which I think you already know, you take 20 minus 10, and you subtract 10 to find out how much it increases. 20 minus 10 is 10. So to find out the middle part, we can divide 10 in half. 10 divided by 2, because in half means 2, is how much? Think. 2 times what gives me 10? If you said 5, you're correct. 10 divided by 2 is 5. It's the same as saying 2 times 5 is 10. So, the answer between 80 and 90 is 85. They want to know the difference. So I have to take the bigger number, which is the 5th, and subtract 40 to find the difference between these 2 minutes, the heat temperature between these 2 minutes. You know what to do. Pause the video, solve this subtraction problem, then come back to see if you had the same answer as me. See you soon. All right, welcome back. 5 minus 0 is 5. And 8 minus 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 is 4. The difference in temperature is 45. Oops. Is 45 degrees. All right, we're done. On to the next one. We have this one and the next one, and then we are done. It says, well, before we start reading the questions, let's look at this graph. We notice it's a line graph because there's dots connecting the dots. We see that there's a time, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. on the horizontal axis, and there's distance from the ranger station in miles on the vertical axis. And this is hiking in the Smokies. First question, during which 1 hour interval was the increase in the hiker's speed the greatest? This reminds me of that bus line graph that we did before, about when the bus was doing bus stops, and then we noticed that when 2 dots are on the same line, it meant the bus stopped. And we knew that when it started going down, it was decreasing. But let's see, when was the increase? So I have some important information here. Which 1 hour interval? So that means I need 2 times, because 8 to 9 is an hour, 9 to 10 is an hour. So your answer is going to have 2 times. Was the increase means up. In the hiker's speed, the greatest. How we find the greatest is looking at the length of the lines. Looking at this line graph, which line is the greatest, the longest, between 2 points? We know these are short. This is a little bit longer, short, and short. So it's somewhere between 11 a.m. and 7 a.m. Which line is the longest? If you said this was the longest line, you're correct. It's the longest and greatest. So that means the increase in the hiker's speed was the greatest during this time. So now, I look down to see that it's 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. This doesn't totally go with it, but going by answering it, this isn't a 1 hour interval. So we can say which interval was the greatest. And the answer would be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Alright. Next question. How long after reaching their destination did they take another break to take in the view? So just like the bus, we know that when there's 2 dots on the same line, it means they stopped. So I'm inferring that at 12 p.m. they reached the top of the mountain and took a break from 12 to 1, maybe to eat to eat their lunch, because that's lunchtime, and to take pictures. So starting up here, after they reached their destination, because your destination is reaching the top of the mountain, did they take another break? We know that when 2 dots are on the same line, it's a break. Here we go. How long after? It was 1 hour from they hiked down the mountain 1 to 2 p.m. and took another break. So our answer is 1 hour it was 1 hour later when they took another break. All right, last question. Doing a great job. Again, these are just examples of the type of questions that you may see on your test on Tuesday. Here we go, the last one. I see this graph is the bar graph, and it says Mr. Smith's earnings. I see it's from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the amount earnings in dollars. I see it's Monday, it's between 100 and 120. Tuesday, between 80 and 100. Wednesday, on 100. Thursday, on 60. Friday, in between 80 and 100. And Saturday, whoa, in between 120 and 140. Okay, last question. Mr. Smith's earnings on Sunday was half the amount he made on Monday. So step 1. How much did Mr. Smith make on Monday? I have to find out the answer. So I look at Monday, and I see it's halfway between 100 and 120. To find this answer, I need to look here and see what's the increase from the first line to the second line. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140. I'm noticing it's going up by 2, but it's not really 2. I have to subtract these two numbers to see. Okay, when I subtract 20 from 40, 0 minus 0 is 0, 4 minus 2 is 2. So the interval, it goes up by 20. If the number is in between 120 and 140, I have to figure out 20 divided by 2 is what? That's the same as saying 2 times what gives me 20. Think, pause, and then give me the answer. If you said 2 times 10 gives you 20, you're correct. So that means that 20 divided by 2 is 10. So I have to take 100 and add 10 more. And I'll get his earnings for Monday. What's 100 plus 110? You're right, $110. Now, they say that his earnings on Sunday was half. That's how we write a half, the amount he made on Monday. Step 1, we found out how much he made on Monday. Step 2, we need to divide Step 2, we need to find out how much he made on Sunday. And the way we find that is finding half of 110. This is how we find half of 110. We do 110 divided by 2 because that's half. 2 cannot go into 1, so we put a 0. Does Miss Slattery, we subtract 0, and we get 1. We bring down our other 1. 2 goes into 11 5 times, 5, 10. Because 6 is 12. 12 is close to 11, but too big. Now I subtract 10. Because it's does Miss Slattery breakdance. When I subtract 10, 11 minus 10 is 1. I bring down the 0. 2 goes into 10 how many times? Does Miss? I multiply. 2 times what gives me 10? Oh, it's 5. So find out how much she made on Sunday. Half of 110 is 55. So, Mr. Smith earned $55 on Sunday. All right, we are done. Excellent job. You can review this again and pause to answer the questions before I do and check your answers. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.